Hey y'all, welcome to episode 24 of the Crazy Sock Lady podcast. My name is Kay and this is my podcast all about knitting, crocheting. Last podcast there was some embroidery thrown in. I will not be showing that today, but I do have some sewing plans to talk to y'all about. There is something in particular I've been wanting to make. Could be interesting. I've told you guys many times I am not a sewist. I don't particularly enjoy sewing. So why I'm going to try to sew something, I have no idea, but I'm going to try it and see how it goes. So we will talk more about that later if you stick around towards the end of the podcast. Today is June 14th, 2017. It is about 8:40 in the morning, and I am coming to you from Havelock, North Carolina, where I live with my husband Eric, our two sons Austin and Wyatt, who are currently sleeping in. This is nuts, and I'm taking advantage of this to podcast because we've had such a busy summer so far, and it has been 3 weeks since I last recorded. That's nuts, you guys. 3 weeks means that there is a lot of stuff piled around me. I do not like going past 2 weeks because it just seems like too much time has went by. I feel a little out of practice. I have crazy amounts of things to talk to y'all about, so it could be quite the episode today. Later in chatter, we will talk about some of the things that we have gotten up to these past 3 weeks. We have just been having a wonderful summer break so far with the kids. It's been a lot of fun. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as The Crazy Sock Lady, and we also have a group on Ravelry for the podcast. If you just go to the groups tab and search Crazy Sock Lady Podcast, you can find it there, and please head over there and join. We always have so much fun stuff going on over there. Right now we have a swapless swap that I am hosting in my group, and that is being done through Lisa of Sock Yarn Swappers. The yarn dyer for this one is Yarn Enabler, and we still have 32 spots available in that. So head over there and join that swapless swap if you want to get some minis. I've got my phone here, so I want to let you guys know all the details for that because I've kind of been horrible at remembering to mention things that are in the Ravelry group. So I have crazy show notes over here, and I'm going to try my darndest to remember to tell you guys everything that is going on right now. So the swapless swap, that is, money is due August 15th. They will ship by September 15th, which is my birthday. They're going to ship on my birthday. That's fun. So let's see, we have 50 total participants that can join in that. We still have 32 spots available. For US residents, it is $35. For Canadian residents, it is $40. For pretty much all other international residents, it's $45. So if you want to get some minis, and that is 10 different colored 40-yard mini skeins, half will be self-striping and half will be variegated. So head over there and sign up, and your money will be due by August 15th. So I believe last podcast I announced the winner. I did a drawing for the winner for the Row 1 yarn giveaway, and that is a subscription monthly for minis, and the winner would have won 1 month subscription, but I did not hear back from the winner. So I went ahead this morning and drew another winner. I want someone to be able to get this and to let them know who the prize winner is so they can ship it out. So there was, let me grab my notebook here, 98 entries in the Row 1 yarn giveaway. I went ahead and redrew 2 through 98, and the winner was 71, which is Sandra from Denmark. So congratulations, Sandra. And Sandra said that she wants to start a Cozy Memories blanket with the minis that she receives. So Sandra, if you will just get in touch with me and give me your full name and your mailing address, I can pass that information along and they can get that shipped out to you ASAP. Next up, we had the sock blank along going on, and that was a knit along for anything that you knit from a sock blank. It did not have to be socks, it just had to be knit directly from the blank. And that was so much fun, you guys. I love sock blanks, and I was so excited to see people trying them for maybe their very first time, or people doing shawls with them. That kind of blew my mind. I had just never thought about doing shawls with sock blanks. Oh. And light bulb moment right there. I have a sock blank from Little Bean Crochet that is kind of a gradient. That might make a really pretty shawl. Might have to jump on that bandwagon and use that sock blank for a shawl. We'll see. To be continued. Okay, so that ended, and we are going to announce the prizes right now. So we had 52 entries into the sock blank along, and you guys head over there if you love sock blanks, or maybe you aren't really sure how sock blanks will work up. I think that's some of the fun, the surprise in how they're going to work up, but head over to that thread. I'm going to leave it up for a while in the Ravelry group. So take a look at the chatter thread and the finished objects thread and some of the pictures of how the blanks are working up into different projects, different sock patterns, different shawl patterns. I just think they're so much fun to see how they're going to go from the blank to your project. Okay, so 52 entries. I've got 2 prize packages that we are going to give away. The first one, oh, I'm dropping things. Okay, first one is a bag from Melissa's Mom Creations. I didn't take it out because she has it so cutely packaged in this little bag, but it is a drawstring bag with a DPN cozy, and there are some tees in there as well. And also with that one, we are going to do some stitch markers, progress keepers, and a Knitting is My Jam pin from Melissa of Knitty by Nature. And the winner of that one is post number 35, which is Amy from Maine. So congratulations, Amy. If you will just message me on Ravelry with your full name and your mailing address, I will get that right out to you. So our second prize package is another 2-part package. We have some more stitch markers, progress keepers, and a Knitting is My Jam pin from Melissa of Knitty by Nature. And then we also have this sock blank and coordinating mini from Emily over at Woolfiend. And this is a one-of-a-kind acid green is the colorway on that. All right, so the winner of this is post number 16, which is Natalie from Germany. So congratulations. If you will just get in touch with me and send me your full name and your mailing address, I will get that right out to you. So thank you so much to all of the makers who've donated prizes for that, and any of you that have donated prizes to the podcast ever. That's just amazing. I love it. We have my prize drawer right back here with some prizes ready to go for our next knit along drawing. So again, thank you to the makers who donated prizes. Congratulations to our winners for those, and thank you guys so much for participating in that knit along. I really, really enjoy it when everybody participates and I get to see all of your progress and your finished objects. It's just so much fun. Our other knit along that is current right now is the Sock Crazy Cow for 2017, and that is a year-long knit along for any socks that you make throughout the year. Baby socks do not count, but any other socks that you make throughout the year, head over and get those entered, and we are doing drawings every 3 months. So the first episode of next month, we will be doing a prize drawing for the Sock Crazy Cow. So be sure if you've done any socks that you head over to the finished objects thread and you get those entered into there. Now we have a new cow that is coming up. If you follow me on Instagram, you have seen me post about this, and I'm going to be co-hosting this with Angie Kimmel from Camel City Dye Works. And Angie is an amazing dyer, and she's also designed some patterns. So this one is going to be for a pattern that she has just recently released. It is on Ravelry now. It is called the Mini Stripe Cow, and again, that is by Angie Kimmel. So this knit along will start June 15th and it'll end July 31st. And the chatter and FO threads will be in my group on Ravelry, so be sure to head over there if you're participating in this. Now Angie has so kindly sent me a mini skein set that she had listed in her shop to use for this. So I am so excited to get this started on June 15th right along with you guys. So here's the mini skein set that I chose out of Angie's shop. How pretty are these? These are just all of my favorite colors. Right here we've got purple, green, gray. There's some blues in there. Love these. So I am going to be using this and knitting right along with you guys starting June 15th. Now Angie has so kindly given us a coupon code, so if you want to head over to her shop and check out any mini skeins or anything else that she has in her shop, I've used her yarn, I love it, cannot wait to use more of it. So be sure to head over and check out her shop and take advantage of the coupon code. It is CSL15, and that will get you 15% off your order through July 31st. So thank you so much, Angie, for that, and I'm so excited to be hosting this knit along with you. Okay, so the last administrative thing that we are going to chat about today, Jessica from Jessica Ruth Knits contacted me on Ravelry and asked me if I would pass along some information to you. And I am so happy to pass this along to you guys. I think this is such a great cause. If you watch Jessica's podcast, she's out in California right now. She is getting IVF done and staying with her family while she's out there. There's a pregnancy center close to where she is staying, and she is doing kind of a little knitting charity drive for them. Now, it's different in the fact that Jessica was just recently gifted a lot of sock yarn, a lot of fingering weight yarn. So what she is doing, if you head over to her Ravelry group, there will be full details and information, or you could certainly probably contact her on Instagram or Ravelry if you have any questions. She is asking for people to send knitted baby items or crocheted, does not have to be knitted, baby items to her out in California to be gifted to this pregnancy center. In return, and I'm sure it is while supplies last, she is taking the yarn that she was gifted and she will be giving it out to the world. So if you send her a knitted or crocheted baby item, she will in turn mail you a skein of the yarn that she was gifted. So I think that is just so awesome of her to do that. So generous. So please head over and check out her podcast and the Ravelry group, which I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, she's on her podcast. She has a thread in there with all of the details. So head over there and check that out. It is time for finished objects. I've got 4 things to show you guys today. That's kind of nuts, but it's been 3 weeks. So there's been some things finished within that time. I do want to say that any finished objects, works in progress, anything like that, I do always try to put up a projects page on Ravelry. So if you have any questions, things I don't mention on the podcast, head over there and check that out. If there's something I've forgotten to post in there or you still have questions, just send me a message. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about projects that I'm doing. So first up with the finished objects is a pair of socks, of course, and these were my May socks. And this pattern is the Union Square socks by Mina Phillip, part of her New York Sock Club collection. And believe it or not, this is my favorite pattern so far out of this collection, maybe my favorite sock pattern of hers ever. I'm going to take it off and show it to you a little bit closer here. I just love the eyelet details. I absolutely love it, and it was such an easy, memorizable pattern. I actually, in works in progress, I started another pair. That is just how much I love it. I really, really enjoyed working this pattern up. So for this, I did Knit Picks Stroll Fingering, and the heels, toes, and cuffs were done in mint, and then this is their Felici, and it is the Saltwater Taffy colorway. As you can see, I did a true afterthought heel, kind of been my favorite lately. I'm loving it. I just think they're so easy and fun, perfect for self-striping. You can pop it in wherever one stripe ends, the next one begins, or in the middle of a stripe if you have something that really matches well, or even if it doesn't, I guess. It doesn't matter, but your socks, do what you want. But I love this. Absolutely love it. It is on US 1 2.25 millimeter. 64 stitches, my standard go-to. If you're a longtime viewer, you know that. Next, I have another pair of socks to show you, and I want to chat a bit about the yarn. So first I'm going to show you, and then we'll talk about the yarn a bit. So these are the Rose City Rollers pattern. I'm sure everybody knows that. If you don't, run and get it because it is a great, great pattern. So fast, easy, simple. You've got a rolled cuff here that is just so cute. I think these are perfect for summer. You can see I did just a main color here, and then I did some yellow coordinating for heels and toes. Now I kind of stumbled across this yarn when we lived in Arizona. I had a knitting group out there, and one of the ladies would bring things that had been purchased. A yarn store was going out of business, and it was kind of purchased in bulk, I guess you could say, everything that was left. So items will be brought to the knitting group and we could purchase those as we wanted. So this was one of the things, not this particular skein. I think I've used up all the ones I bought there, but I actually purchased more because I really liked it. I was intrigued when I saw it because it's a different brand of yarn. It is called Toe Footsies. And it has, I'm not so sure how to pronounce this, chitin, C-H-I-T-I-N, and that is fiber from shrimp and crab shells, and it's naturally antibacterial. Now, this yarn is 50% superwash wool, 25% soy silk fibers, 22.5% cotton, and 2.5% of the chitin, I'm guessing. I don't know. So, this. I love it. I have never heard any other podcasters or seen this on Instagram. Like, I don't see anyone using this yarn. I don't know if maybe some people just don't like it. It is very thin fingering, I would say. It's not a super plump yarn, but if you are someone like me, I hate wearing socks in summer, but there are times where you do need to wear a pair of socks in the summer, and I would prefer to wear hand knit socks as much as I can. These are perfect. It gives you a very lightweight, breathable fabric. I'm sure that has a lot to do with the cotton that is in here. I love working with this yarn in the summer because, you know, if you're outside, especially where I live in North Carolina, it can get very humid. So my hands tend to get kind of sticky and the yarn just sticks to them. So this yarn is perfect for working with outside, perfect for wearing in the summer. So if you are looking for a good yarn to make socks for the summer, I would definitely just order a skein of it and give it a try. The company is Southwest Trading Company. I believe you can order it directly from their website or just do a Google search for Tofootsies. I'll try to put a link in the show notes for a place that you can purchase it from, because I'm not remember. I ordered quite a few. They were on sale at Little Knits, I believe. I'll have to double check that and put the link in the show notes if you're interested. I definitely say order one skein, give it a try. If you don't like it, it's only one skein you've purchased, but I would really recommend it if you're looking for something great for summer socks. And I've talked about this yarn before on a previous podcast. I don't know if I showed Wyatt's socks that I made with it though, but Wyatt has a pair of socks that I made with this yarn. It was the very first time I'd used this yarn. I made him a pair of socks. They have held up better than any other socks that we have made. I don't know if it's just the combination of what all is in it, but the boys they tend to be pretty rough on their socks. Not Wyatt as much as Austin, but this yarn has just held up great. The socks still look so nice. So I would definitely recommend giving that a try. My last sock work in progress that I have to show you is a pair of socks for Eric, and you guys have seen this as a work in progress. And this was made using Opal Sweet and Spicy yarn. And his, I do the same as mine, 64 stitches, US 1, 2.25 millimeter. And I love how these worked up. I love working with Opal yarn for socks for him because it's such a sturdy yarn, and I know that it's going to stand up to the wear and tear that it will get in his boots all day long. So it's perfect. And while I don't think he will be wearing any of these socks that I'm making him until the weather turns cold again, it'll be good to know that I have some socks kind of stored up and ready for him. And these, Amber of Yarn Junkie is doing a box of socks, Lover, I wrote it down. Don't even try to guess it, Kayla, just look. Box of Socks, Lover Edition Cal. So if you head over to her Ravelry group, if you're making socks for your significant other, you can head over there and get those entered in. And I've entered these in, and I have another pair in works in progress for him that I will be entering over there as well. Okay, my last finished object. I finished last night at like 11:30. I was determined I was going to get this done to show you guys on this podcast. Spoiler alert, if you have not, you're doing the Hohi Knit Along, you have managed to avoid seeing pictures on Instagram, you are not finished with it yet, I am going to show mine because it is done. And this is the Starting Point Mystery Knit Along that was by Hohi Locatelli. And I think this might be my favorite thing, one of my favorite things. I don't know if it is my absolute favorite thing, but one of my favorite things that I have ever knit. Ever. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to show it. It has not been washed, blocked. I have woven the ends in, but I have not snipped the strands off yet because I'm going to wait and do that after I block it. So it's not completely done, I guess, but it's close enough that I can show you guys. So if you don't want to see it, you're waiting until yours is done to see pictures, just look away and I will tell you when you can look back. Oh, let's show the right side. Okay, so here it is. There's no way I'm gonna be able to hold this entire thing in the frame, so we're just gonna kind of work with what we got here. Let me back up a little bit maybe. There we go, that's better. So it's huge, you guys, and it's not even blocked yet. I love the size of it. So this is one end, and clue one started right here, and you kind of worked up this way to here. That was one piece. You were working two pieces together. And then other side is identical, and the same thing. Clue one started here. Ooh, you worked up to the center. And then clue five was this right here. So I love it. It is really huge. Look how big this is. Look at this. Oh, my end's hanging. But oh my gosh, it is so big. When I do it like this, it hangs down to my knees, and I'm 5.5. So it's a pretty big wrap, and I love it. I cannot wait to see it once it's blocked, how much it grows. Lengthwise, it's pretty perfect how it is now. Depth-wise, it's still, I mean, when it's up like that, it comes down almost to the bottom of my back. So it's pretty good size depth-wise as well. I hope it grows a little bit more in depth. Length, if it doesn't grow too much more in length, I'm perfectly fine with that. Because honestly, my cozy blanket got the absolute most wear this past winter when it was done. And I still wear it occasionally around the house if I'm chilly. I just love throwing it over my shoulders. And that was a pretty big shawl. I'm finding that I love big shawls to wear around the house or to wear when we sit out by the fire. I just think they're so nice to just throw over your shoulder or put on front of you kind of like a blanket and wear. And this right here is how I think I will wear mine the most. Just draped over my shoulders, kind of wrapped around, just to kind of snuggle up with and keep warm. And it's going to be perfect. Being a wrap, you know, it's going to cover more of my arms than a shawl would. I can't wait for the weather to get cold so that I can get more use out of this. Now, I'll probably wear it a lot around the house this summer in the air conditioning because I usually tend to get pretty cold in the air conditioning. Austin's awake and he wants to come say hi, and I told him he could here in just a little bit, okay? Just a bit after we're done talking about projects, I will let him come on and say hi to y'all. So yes, I definitely love this, and I'm going to take it off now. So if anyone was avoiding seeing it until they're done with theirs, you can look back now. The yarn that I use for that, everything is listed in my projects page as far as colorway names goes, because I cannot remember those off the top of my head, and everything is over there. But it was Crab Apple Yarns, and definitely check them out. The yarn was a pleasure to work with, and that was a kit that I actually won through an Instagram giveaway. So this wrap was just fated for me to do because I won the yarn, and yeah, gorgeous colors, exactly what I would have picked for myself if I could have put together a kit or picked a kit to buy. These are colors that they're just me. I love purple and blues and grays. So yes, it worked out perfect and I love it. And I think I would make another one. The problem is it uses so much yarn. So that's a pretty big financial, you know, you have to buy 5 skeins of yarn, and I want to make a sweater. So if I'm going to buy 5 skeins, I'm probably going to buy a sweater's quantity for a sweater, but I would definitely do it again. Absolutely. All right, so now we are going to talk about works in progress, and I have quite a few to show you today. So let's just jump right in with what we've got. I'm just gonna go in the order they are here on the chair. Now the dogs are running around. Summer break, you guys, there is no quiet time ever. Okay, so the first work in progress, I have this in my bag from Daisy Girl and Company. And this is the Times Square Socks by Mina Phillip, another one of her New York Sock Club patterns. And these are my June socks. And I've been putting the socks, I've been doing her socks as they come out, and those kind of count as my month socks. I put them in her knit-alongs that she has going on for if you knit her patterns. And then the Naughty Knitwits Socket year-long knit-along, I'm participating in that as well. And I've kept up with that. I was doing the ornament one through the Naughty Knitwits, and I kind of didn't do May's, so that was bad. But I've stayed with the socks anyways. Okay, so these I'm loving just as much as May's. Look at that. It looks like a cable, but it's not a cable. It's paid for pattern, so I can't give away details, but that's not an actual cable. You're not using a cable needle. But how pretty is that? I love it. So this is just the first one. I've got to kind of get going. Now that my Hohi wrap is done, that took up a lot of time, you guys, because you're doing 2 pieces each clue, you know, you're catching up your 2 pieces. So that was a significant chunk of knitting time was spent trying to keep up with that because I didn't want to fall behind. So now that that is done, I'm going to have a ton of knitting time, I think. So these will get done in no time, I'm sure. So yeah, this is the first one. I did a slip stitch heel flap and gusset. The yarn's kind of getting blown out a little from the light. But I did a slip stitch heel flap and gusset. And I'm doing these on my Knitter's Pride Carbons needles, US 1 2.25 millimeter, and 64 stitches, same as always. So the yarn that I'm using is from Denise of Yoshi and Lucy Knits. She sent this over to me and some for a prize for the podcast as well. And this is on her Isabel base, and the colorway is Georgia Peach. I think it's probably gonna get blown out. I usually don't have this problem because I usually have the blinds open, so things don't always get quite as blown out with the natural light. But today, since I moved over here, I shut the blinds because the light was coming in at a weird angle, so now I'm gonna have lighting issues. So I guess that's what I get for trying to switch to a different location. Next work in progress, I have in a bag from Amber of Maker's Haven, and you guys know I love this bag. It has been well used. I just adore her whole aesthetic. The way she does things, I mean, look at that. All of that patched together, and they just go so well together. I don't know. I just love her. We'll talk about her more later. Okay, so in here, I have a pair of socks for Eric. Let me go ahead and get it on a blocker because I do have a half finished object. I've got one done. So this is just a plain vanilla sock, and I will be entering this into the knit along that I mentioned that Amber of Yarn Junkie is hosting. And here we go. Here's the one finished. And this yarn is Knit Picks Felici in Beyond the Wall. That's the colorway name. And then the gray that I did for heels, toes, and cuffs. I know it's a Knit Picks Stroll Fingering. I'm not sure of the color because I just had this ball left from a previous project. So I'm not positive of the color, but it is a Knit Picks. And I love Knit Picks yarn, you guys. I cannot wait. Does anyone know when they're coming back out with the Felici? Because I'm probably going to have to just go nuts and buy at least 2 of every single one because I love it. The yarn is so soft and the stripes just work up so fun, and it's so affordable. So check it out when it comes back out if you have not yet. Okay, but this is one done. Plain vanilla sock, US 1 2.25 millimeter, 64 stitches. I don't know why I say that because it's always the same, but I guess if you're a new viewer you won't know that. So I cut it in between this light blue and then the lightest gray to put in an afterthought heel. I did a true afterthought heel. Kirby Werby tutorial is what I watched to do that, and Eric loves them. They fit well. This is my very first time doing a true afterthought heel. Now I think the foot could have been just a tiny bit longer, so next time that I do him a pair of socks with this heel, I'm going to be mindful of that. With his socks, I usually do them almost 1/4 of an inch shorter than what his shoe size is, because what I always do for my socks I don't have like the cutouts or anything, which would probably not be a bad idea to have those. But I always just go by shoe sizes. So Eric's a US 10, so I look up his shoe size, see how many inches it says, and it's like 10 and 9/16, I want to say off the top of my head. And then I go by that. So I usually do it about 1/4 of an inch shorter, and it works with the stretch. But I don't know, with this, it could have had that extra 1/4 of an inch. Now I know they're going to stretch out a bit, so I'm going to see how they wear before I do any more afterthought heels for him. I'm going to see wear and tear wise, do they stand up to what he puts them through, and then we'll go forward with that, because slip stitch heel flap, just, you have that extra fabric, extra squish factor, extra sturdiness. Those just really work for him. So we're gonna see. This was the first time trying this, and since it was a striped sock, I really wanted to do this and not mess with the stripes any, because I just think they look so pretty. So we're gonna see how it works out, see how it goes. But yeah, the foot could have used that extra 1/4 of an inch when he tried them on, but I think it'll work. But yeah, like I was saying, I always just look up shoe sizes. I Google it, and I actually have it on my phone, my browser, and my Safari. It's just always up on there, and it's, I think, Shoe Show. I just Googled shoe sizes in inches, and the Shoe Show, that's kind of hard to say, Shoe Show website has a list: youth, kids, men's, women's. It has the shoe size, US shoe size, inches, centimeters. It's just kind of nice to have around. Oh, and these, I am going to be entering those, like I said, into Amber's knit along for socks for your significant other. And then also, Not Your Average Knits podcast is doing a Game of Thrones knit along. Now, I've only seen the first season. It's not that I didn't like it. I don't know, Eric watches a lot of TV when he's on shift work, so I'm usually already in bed, and it's just something I haven't kept up with. But I do know when I watched Kim's podcast, she mentioned this specific yarn would count for that knit along. So I thought, perfect, I will kind of double dip with these socks, enter them into Amber's, enter them into Kim's, and it works out. Win-win, I think. And speaking of Not Your Average Knits, that is a new to me podcast. I just recently discovered her podcast, and I'm really enjoying watching her. Her name is Kim, and she is a pattern designer. She's designed a lot of scarves. She's currently working on a Game of Thrones inspired shawl, and I'm very excited to see that. She showed a peek of it on her latest podcast, which she did tell me she has kind of reworked it and started fresh to change some things. But I'm really excited. I loved where she was going with it from what she showed on the podcast. So definitely head over and check out Kim's podcast. Like I said, I've enjoyed watching it. I feel like she's talking about new and interesting things. Last work in progress, I guess I don't have quite as many as I thought. We're going to talk about scrappy stuff, and I've got my scrappy projects over here. So I think that's why I thought I had more works in progress, but I've only got 3 socks to show you, so that's not bad. So this next one is in a drawstring bag from Mountain State Stitches on Etsy, and I believe Jenny will be offering these in her shop. I know she had mentioned doing it a while back, but they're still not in there, so be sure to check back or message her if you're interested in getting a drawstring bag. Maybe she'll get those up in there soon. So in here I have got a pair of Jane Eyre inspired socks, and this yarn that I'm using is from Adelaide Cottage, and it is on her toasty sock base, and the colorway is Reader, I Married Him. So if you have read Jane Eyre or even watched the movies, you'll get the reference, and I love this colorway. Shauna just nailed this colorway. It's gorgeous, and this is my very first time. I have 2 skeins of her yarn, this one and another one. This is my first time using it, and you guys, this is probably one of my favorite bases I've ever used. This, I'll tell you what's in it. It is an 80-20 blend, superwash merino and nylon. I'm sure I've used an 80-20 blend before. I mean, I had to have at some point, right? I don't know, but this blend is so squishy. I love it. I'm not very far. I've just got the cuff done. But these are going to be the Union Square socks. I'm going to do another pair of these because I loved the last pair so much, and I think this yarn, they're going to be gorgeous. So here's the cuff. The colorway is gorgeous. The yarn, I mean, I just wish you guys could feel this. It is so squishy. I don't know if maybe I've had to have used an 80-20 blend. Shauna's 80-20 blend is just amazing. That's probably what it is. It's so squishy. I just can't get over it. Working with it, I was like, oh my gosh. I think we were in the car. And I just was like, Eric, this yarn is so squishy. He doesn't care, but it's squishy. It's like heaven. I don't know. So I need to get working on these socks. These were kind of, Austin had a basketball game and I had no projects that were good for car knitting or knitting because we're usually there early, so we always kind of watch the game that's ahead of his. So I like to knit during that. I can never knit during his games, but I knit in the car on the way over and the way back, and then the game prior to his. So I had no socks or anything that was at a good spot to take and knit on. And I prefer to take socks because they're smaller and I'm sitting on the bleachers. And so yes, I had no socks. So this is what happened. All three of these got cast on. So yes. And that is it for works in progress. Right, so mail. I'll probably be doing a bit of reaching because it's over there, so I apologize in advance. But speaking of scrappy projects, you guys, I have a problem. I have a major addiction to No Makers mini skein sets. It's serious. I have bought every single mini skein set since I found out about No Makers when was it? Like I think I bought their Halloween. I think that was the first one I bought. And I bought every single one she's had out since then. It's not a joke. It's not a drill. It's serious. I take that back. I just fibbed. I didn't buy the Sock Monkey one. But it was just plain brown red. So I didn't buy that one. But I bought every other one that she's had. They're just so cute, and her mini skein sets are so affordable, and they're the perfect size to put a square in my Cozy Memories and have a tiny bit left over for my corner to corner. So within the past 3 weeks, because she does updates, I don't think it's every Friday, but maybe like twice a month. She's had 2 updates since I last podcasted, I think. So yeah, this happened. All of the mini skein sets. So first we have Yarn-A-Burger. In here you have a mini that is for your burger, your bun, cheese, ketchup and mustard, and a pickle. Who can resist these cute sets? Like, really? A burger one? I had to have it. This one is Backyard Shenanigans, and it came with a glow stick, which I'm sure the kids will grab as soon as this is open. Yeah, and this one right here, see this mini right here? That's called Bird Poop on My Swing Set. I really want the full skein of that. It's a pretty colorway and a fun name. So yeah, there's another one. And another one. This is Farm Stand. And the last one, which just came yesterday, I believe, is BLT. Yeah, I have an addiction. Major addiction, you guys, to No Makers, period. I love her stuff, but I just I can't resist her mini skeins. As soon as I watch her podcast that she usually does before updates, I see she's got a new mini skein set. I set my alarm for Fridays at 10 a.m. because it's 9 a.m. Central Time is when she does the updates. I know all this, and I set the alarm and I buy it. I just cannot resist her mini skein sets. So bad. Okay, so next up in the mail, I'm going to show you some yarn. This is my very first purchase from Dragon Hoard Yarn. Look at this. Tristan, this is gorgeous. The colorway is I Don't Want to Go. Think about that for a minute, my Whovian viewers out there. What is that from? Do you know? Nobody in my house knew, and we're all Whovians. I was the only one who knew. As soon as I saw this, I think I saw it on Tristan's Instagram. As soon as I saw this and I saw the name, I was like, Doctor Who 10th Doctor, gotta have it. That is the last thing that David Tennant says before he's just gone. Before David Tennant is gone, the 10th Doctor is gone. Look how pretty this is. Oh, 10 is my favorite, absolute favorite. So you guys know I had to have this. I love it. It's probably going to be socks. Pretty sure. Yeah, we have to do some more Doctor Who socks. I've done a few. And check out Tristan's Etsy shop if you have not already, and her podcast that she does with her mama, and their podcast is The Girls from the Yarn Cafe. Next, we're going to talk about my next addiction, my next problem that I seem to have, and that is there's kind of two problems mixed in here together. The first one is my problem with absolutely having to buy yarns based on their name. Case in point right here. I mean, the colors are gorgeous, don't get me wrong. I love the colors, and I would have been like, oh, I want that anyways. But the names are what catch me. So, case in point right here. And the second problem tied in here with this purchase is Desert Vista Dye Works. She's another one I can't resist, especially when I see, like, she does so many colorways based on books and names. The names of books, movies, songs, singers, so many. This one, they got me. There's two. This is Fried Green Tomatoes. The movie Fried Green Tomatoes is one of my absolutely favorite, all-time favorite movies ever in all time. Love it. I like the book too, but the movie is definitely one of my favorites. So yes, Fried Green Tomatoes. I had to have it. Then the next one, let me introduce you to Patsy Cline. Yeah, Patsy is one of my favorites. I love Patsy Cline, Loretta Lynn, Dolly Parton. So I had to have this. So these came this week. I purchased them at the same time. She got me double that one because it was like Fried Green Tomatoes, and then I think I went on there to get Fried Green Tomatoes. She had posted on Instagram, and then I saw Patsy Cline, had to have them both. Could not resist. Yeah. I'm bad, you guys. I have such a problem with getting things because of what they're named after. It's so horrible. Last thing that I'm going to show you that I received in the mail. I teased about this at the beginning. Sewing. I am not a sewist. I have sewn things before. I don't really enjoy it. I think if I had somewhere I could set up my sewing machine, leave it. If I had my own like yarn crafty room, which I kind of do in here, but this is the dining room as well. So it's out where I see the mess all the time if there is one, and the kids come in here to do things at the table, and so I don't really have a place where I can go and like shut the door when I don't want to see the mess. And sewing, when you don't have some set place, you get a lot of stuff out. All of my stuff is in totes in the garage, my sewing machine, everything. So I have to bring all of that in, unpack the sewing machine, set it up, get all the fabric and stuff out. It just makes such a big mess that and then I have to put it all away when I'm done or just leave it sit there and look at the mess. I don't know. It's just a hassle, I think, in the house we're in now without having a set craft room to kind of get everything out and do it. It takes the fun out of it, I think. So I haven't really enjoyed sewing that much, especially since we've lived here. But Amber, yarn hoarder, you have created like insaneness here. Everyone is going nuts wanting to make skirts, and I am jumping on that bandwagon hardcore. I'm ready. I have my pattern, everything. I'm ready to go. And this is a pattern that Amber is using. Wyatt is awake. Wyatt, do you want to say hi? No, he doesn't want to say hi. But this is the pattern that Amber is using by, I believe it's Sonia Phillip, 100 Acts of Sewing. I will say right off the bat, it is a bit on the pricey side. Amber did talk about that on her podcast, so I was well aware. It's $17 for the pattern, but you get sizes extra small to 4X. So you get a ton, and there is a little, pull it out here and show you. This is your pattern, has all the sizes on here, and then you get a little book with it as well, with information on how to do it, how to make it, different sizes, all kinds of things. So, and it gives you all your measurements for sizes. That's what I meant by different sizes. It gives you the different measurements. Everybody's going nuts in my house right now because everybody is now awake. Good thing we're almost done. Okay, so this is skirt number 1. That is the name of the pattern. And I am waiting right now. I got this past week. I'm waiting. I ordered, let me put this back in here real quick so you don't have to listen to the crinkling. I ordered some Swedish tracing paper. Another thing that I've copied off of Amber. She talked about how she has used that to lay out on the pattern, trace the size she needs, and then use the pattern on the Swedish tracing paper instead of having to cut into that paper pattern. That way you've always got those sizes there in case you want to make a different size for yourself or for someone else. I might actually make some for my sister, Cassie. One of my sisters, Cassie. I might make a skirt for her for Christmas maybe. Find her some fun fabric and see what I can come up with. But first we're gonna see how mine goes because we're just gonna see. It seems so easy when Amber talks about it. I'm like, oh, it sounds so simple, and she's made so many. So we're gonna see how it goes. I need to get, Amber used 1-inch elastic. That's not what the pattern calls for, but I'm with her on that. I think I would like a thicker elastic waistband. So I need to run to Hobby Lobby at some point. My Swedish tracing paper should be here Friday. So I will probably go Friday or Saturday and get some elastic, and I need to pull out my totes and see if I have enough fabric to just try a skirt first before I go purchase more fabric. I want to see if I've got enough so I won't be shelling out a bunch of money on fabric and then not be able to do the skirt or not like it or whatever the case may be. I'm going to try to use stash fabric for this. We'll see how it goes. The only fabric that I, in my mind, can think of, because I have not been in those totes forever, the only fabric I can think of that I might have enough of, because I believe I'll need 1.5 yards, is Steelers football fabric. So maybe I'll have a Steelers skirt. I'm not even a big football fan, but we'll see. I wouldn't mind a Warriors skirt. That would be kind of fun. Why it says no. Okay, so I think that is it for mail. Let me double check my notes to make sure. Yes, that is it for mail. So next we just have some chatter, and we will see if Austin wants to come on and say hi here in just a moment after we chat for a bit. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, it's been 3 weeks since I last recorded. I did not plan on the 3-week little hiatus here. I really want to try to keep the 2-week schedule that I've been doing throughout the summer, but things just got a little crazy these past 3 weeks. We've been having a lot of fun since the kids have been out of school. We've been going to the pool, which has been nice. It gets us out of the house, keeps them entertained for a little bit. It's always nice to get out and get some fresh air and some sunshine. And Austin and I ended up being sick last week one night, just the 2 of us. No one else in the house caught it, thankfully. But the 2 of us were pretty sick. And then Amber from Maker's Haven, she was in the area vacationing. So we got to meet up with her, and we got together with her twice last week. So that was so much fun. We went to the aquarium on Wednesday with her and her kids. And then on Thursday, they actually came up and spent the entire day here. So that was so much fun. The kids just immediately hit it off, especially Wyatt and her son. They had so much fun. And it was so nice to get to sit and knit and visit with Amber. It was funny. We have so much in common, our lives and just different likes and dislikes. So that was a lot of fun to get to sit and chat with her. She is so super sweet. And I think we're going to try to get together again next month when she's around the area. We're going to have to kind of meet in the middle. So it'll be about a 45-minute drive for each of us. But I think we're going to try to get together and go to the Salty Sheep in Swansboro, North Carolina, and let the kids get together again and maybe have some lunch or something. So I'm really looking forward to that. So knitting wise, what's kind of coming up? That's really all I have for chatter, by the way. We've just been enjoying the summer. A lot of downtime and going to the pool and hanging out around the house. It's just been a lot of fun. So knitting wise coming up, now that my Hohi wrap is done and off the needles, I feel like I'm gonna have a ton of knitting time. I just finished it last night and I just feel like there's all this knitting possibilities now that such a big project is off the needles. So I'm probably going to start another shawl. I do kind of like to have one on the go at all times. So the next one I've talked about before and I've shown you guys the yarn. It is the yarn from Molly Klein Design, and I'm going to do the Akira shawl by Tammy Gore. Everything is caked up, ready to go in the bag with the needles and the pattern. So I just need to cast it on, and now that that huge wrap is done, I feel like I'm ready to get started on that. And there will definitely be lots of sock knitting, of course. So I think that is about it. Maybe next time I will have a new shawl on the needles to show you, some sock knitting done, and maybe a skirt. Who knows? It could get crazy up in here in the Litton house with the sewing, and fingers crossed I like it. We'll see. But I know that Austin does want to say hi, so I will let him come over here and say hello to you guys.
I'm tired.
Austin, are you awake?
Yes.
Okay, you wanted to say hi. What is the obsession with these, you guys? I don't understand.
It's just fun. You get to spin.
Austin told me I needed a fidget spinner, and I told him I have my knitting.
Just try spinning it once. Please.
So Austin's going to show you his cross stitch. He's done a little bit. We've been having some pretty nice days, so this is more of a rainy day project when we can't get out of the house and go to the pool. So you want to show them what you've done so far? Anything you want to say about it?
It's really fun.
What are you doing right now when you're working on it?
Oh,
what on the...
what am I working on right now?
Yeah.
I'm working on...
Come over this way a little bit.
I'm working on the R right there.
What are you doing to the R?
I'm outlining it.
Okay, you want to give him a close-up? Show him what you're doing? Not quite that. There. Back up just a little bit. There you go.
I'm working on the R, the outline.
And you're enjoying doing cross-stitch?
Yes.
So I bought us these, because you can back up now.
Don't judge my talking about craft skills. I don't know any crafty words.
So we kept having a problem sitting at the table. Austin would lose his needle, and the table that Eric, he redid the top, and it's wood, so I don't know, but the needle kept going in between the pieces of wood. So I've seen these on so many podcasts. This is the one that I ordered Austin, and it is, of course, a Doctor Who police box. Oh, I couldn't think of the name. But there's the back, there's a magnet, and you can put this on your cross stitch. Here, let me see them. I'm sure you guys have seen these on so many podcasts. But you put this on the front, magnet on the back, and it keeps track of your needle. And I accidentally pulled the yarn out of his needle. I'm sorry. But I also ordered me one. I've got my needle on here right now too. But I don't have it on my project because the embroidery that I'm doing, it doesn't really fit. But yeah, I ordered me a cute little bird one. And these are from A Needle Runs Through It on Etsy. And they're just a magnetic needle minder. Look how cute. Works great.
become a Warriors fan.
Go Warriors! All right, is that it?
I guess.
Can you say bye?
Bye.
So I think that's it for today, guys. I don't think I've forgotten anything. Austin got to say hi, which he was really looking forward to. So a huge thank you to returning viewers. Thank you so much for choosing to come back and spend a little bit of time with me. And a welcome and thank you to new viewers. I hope that you enjoyed the podcast. Be sure to subscribe so that you can be notified when any new videos go up on this channel. And give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the podcast. It not only lets me know that you enjoyed it, but it also helps to get the video out there to more people, I believe. So I don't know. I don't know that much about YouTube, which is crazy considering I do a podcast on YouTube, but I hope that you guys are working on things that are truly bringing you joy and happiness, because y'all, life is too short. Just knit on what makes you happy, and be sure to check out all the fun stuff going on over in the Ravelry group. So I will see you all again in a few weeks. Until next time, bye.